Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, welcome to another market open stream. We got to talk about the shutdown, the government shutdown, and how that is almost over, and why we need to get ready for it, and several other things I want to talk about and show you guys. All right, let's do it, guys. Let's do it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are starting out the day, unfortunately, lower than yesterday. We went back to the same level as yesterday, which, or the day before yesterday, I should say, 104.3. The alts are showing pretty red today, although it's still slightly higher than a few days ago, but we aren't as high as yesterday. Now, why is that? Well, I'll speculate a little bit, but right now, it's pretty obvious that retail confidence is shattered. You could see it in the comments, you can see it in the live chat, you can see it on X, you can see it everywhere. Most people in crypto are very bearish now. Only the OGs, only people that have been through a couple of cycles know that, hey, this is nothing to be fearful about. We will get through whatever macro stuff that's going on right now. Right? But for everyone else, it seems like, man, it's like the end of the world right now. I know it could be frustrating, but it certainly is not the end, especially if you've looked at some of the previous periods we have been through before that were much, much worse. But right now, it does seem like now that the Senate finally passed, okay, or had an agreement over whatever dispute about healthcare, the Senate have decided, okay, it's time to move on. So yesterday they took the vote, and yes, it passed 60-40. So now they're going to vote upon this in the House, and that is going to take at least another day or so. So they are trying to convene all the House people to get together tomorrow and vote on it. And then after, if it gets approved, then Trump has to sign it in, and then it's finally over. So it does seem like it's going to come to an end very, very quickly, unless somehow the House also disagrees, and then it lasts another week or two. No one wants that. No one wants that. Neither side wants it. And again, the toll on the government and just toll on everything, really. Not just like whatever is going on within the government, but I mean, it's having effect everywhere. So everyone wants to see this come to a conclusion. It's been going on for way too long, and it's no good. And the shutdowns, right? Like, for example, with flights piling on, 8% of all flights have been canceled. And that number is only going to go up. So one of the reasons, I think this could be the reason why all the Congress people want to actually stop this, is because this is going to disrupt their lives. Okay? Maybe they don't care about SNAP benefits or anything else because it doesn't affect them, but they do care about flights. This affects even private flights, private charters, because a lot of airports do not take private flights anymore, and of course commercial flights and everything else, right? So this is ongoing, and a lot of people are going to be severely disrupted for Thanksgiving, and of course just general flights in general are going to be affected if the government shutdown is not resolved. Of course, there's a lot more than just flights. I mentioned SNAP benefits and others, federal workers, almost 1 million federal workers out of work right now. And there's many, many, many other things that's being affected. So it's coming to a conclusion, hopefully, by the end of this week. Hopefully, by Wednesday, it's going to end. I don't know how the House is feeling. I'm assuming the House is going to align with the Senate, unless there's something big that happens in the house. Let's hope that's not the case. It's the reason why markets went up yesterday because of this, but doesn't seem to be carrying on right now for whatever reason. Some other macro stuff with tariffs. You know, we still have high tariffs on India and many other countries, so we're trying to, I guess, work on it. I still don't know what's going to happen if the Supreme Court comes back and says tariffs are illegal. So all this money that we've collected, 440 billion, I guess, approximately, because that's how much is being given out with the stimulus checks. If we have to return that, then what happens to the checks that are given out? Or is he waiting to see a ruling before giving it out? Because he already announced it. So I don't even know what's going to happen, because if tariffs are illegal, then all the money has to be given back. But I think markets are actually cheering for this, because markets see tariffs as an inflation mechanism, something that's causing inflation, and not something that we want at this point in time. So I guess we'll see. This is something else that's still brewing. Still brewing. All right. Outside of these things, let's get to Bitcoin and crypto here. I know if you're looking at ETFs, yesterday was like a nothing burger. It wasn't negative. It wasn't positive. Look at yesterday's Bitcoin inflow. 1.2 million. I don't recall seeing a day where there was just 1.2 million inflow. I mean, we have seen some bad outflows. We have seen some really good inflows. But for a day to be almost at zero? See, this is exactly like retail sentiment. Like, I think a lot of people on Wall Street's like, I don't know what's going to happen, so I'd just rather not make any moves. Or just sell off, because we've been, you know, you see the outflow has been pretty negative for the past week and a half. But yesterday, with the prospects of a government shutdown ending, you would figure, hey, you know, everyone's going to be loading up, right? But if you look at this, not many people loaded up. If you look at Ethereum also, Ethereum ETF was at zero. Unless the data's wrong, okay, unless this fair side investors didn't get any data, it's really eerie that both Bitcoin and Ethereum are at zero or near zero. But Solana ETF was not. Solana ETF still got a bit of inflow, so overall 7 million. But I think this shows a sentiment of like the average retail investor. It's like, yeah, I'm not terribly excited right now. I'm more fearful than anything. So I'm just going to either not make a move or sell off, right? And unfortunately, like I said, that seems to be a sentiment right now. Okay, people want to be bearish almost. People find a reason to be bearish. But scared money doesn't make money. And remember, wealth is generated by moving assets from the impatient to the patient. And like I said at the beginning, people that have been through a few years or through a few cycles, okay, know that we have been through much worse. Much, much worse than now. So whatever's going on now, there's always something going on. We will get through it. Every single time we do. You just have to remain patient, hold a DCA, and also believe in what you're holding. If you're holding something that you completely do not believe in, then that's another thing, right? A lot of Bitcoiners, believe it or not, do believe in this. The McRib. The McRib is back. Now, why is this significant? Is this one of the best sandwiches ever made? The answer is no. But there seems to be a high correlation of whenever the McRib sandwich comes back. I don't know if you can even call it a sandwich. But whenever McRib comes back, Bitcoin tends to pump. There's like an eerie connection between Bitcoin pumping and the McRib sandwich. So a lot of Bitcoiners actually are looking forward to this. I don't know about eating it. I personally cannot stand a McRib. I know some people like it. I can't stand it. It doesn't taste like rib sandwich. And then the barbecue sauce is like, there's too much of it. And overall, I don't see the appeal. I don't know why they keep bringing it back. There's no appeal to this. But, hey, if it helps Bitcoin move higher, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. All right, what else is there? Metaplanet, the strategy of Japan, basically, says now 0.2% of all Japanese are shareholders of the company. That's pretty significant. I mean, it doesn't seem like it for some, 0.2%, but considering like most people on the planet don't invest at all, if you take that into account, having 0.2% of all Japanese people hold a company is actually very impressive. I don't think 0.2% of Americans hold strategy. I don't think it's anywhere close to that. So that tells you something. They are on the right path. And that's why Simon, the CEO, is also embracing the Bitcoin treasury strategy and keeps on raising more money to buy more Bitcoin because he understands. He understands now. He's a Bitcoiner, but he also understands it's fantastic for his company. And that is why there's so many people, right, getting involved. Not just with Metaplanet, but with strategy as well. Here's a $3 trillion fund that disclosed they have $250 million in strategy, right? And there's many, many, many other funds like BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, these like the biggest funds or asset managers holding a whole bunch of strategy and others too. Even though they may not be revealing they're buying Bitcoin directly, but they're definitely loading up on Bitcoin treasury companies like Strategy. So that tells you something, right? The big money is not like retail. It's not even like some of the Wall Street investors. And I got something more to say about that. They continue to load up while most of retail is panicking. And that's not the right way to do it. Cleanspark's 1.1 billion raise is quite a lot. They are a mining company. And mining companies right now are still plugging away, are still churning away, mining, securing the network, and still growing because the hash rate and difficulty continues to go up. You don't really hear about them going down anymore. These big boys, they're not going away. They're not going away. And that's why Bitcoin's network is so unique and why the network itself being completely decentralized and no country on the planet is trying to shut it down, that in itself is invaluable, although people don't really care about that. But you can't even replicate it. If anyone else, a big tech company, let's say Meta, that tried to create a big network like Bitcoin, they get shut down. Because Meta tried. No country is going to embrace it. But Bitcoin is already approved and embraced by everyone. All right. A few other things that are bullish. Okay, since so many people want to be bearish and so many people want to hear things. But I'll just show you some facts. Okay, some facts here. According to the short-term holder realized profit, there are a lot of people that are capitulating. A lot of people that are selling at a loss. They can't take it. They're scaring themselves into selling. Well, the last time this happened was approximately a year ago when Bitcoin fell down to about $40,000. We started the year at 73,000. We kept going sideways and dipping and dipping and dipping until we had like a low point of 40-something thousand dollars right around October of last year. You could see the capitulation, right? And then that's when things turned around and we headed higher to over $100,000. And it's looking very similar right now. We're going through that period where there's just so much fear. People are about to give up, or people have given up. But that's usually when we flip around. And here's why. I just got done saying these big boys The smart money is not going away. So a couple things. Here's one that's measuring just whales in general that hold over 10,000 Bitcoin. They have basically doubled their holding in the last 3 weeks. From October 24th to now, they have added 36,000 Bitcoin. They have doubled their holdings while the price have been going down. These are the ultra huge whales. People that hold over 10, or entities that hold over 10,000 Bitcoin. So they are piling on right now, while most retail is scared and selling and leaving. You got to think why. Why would these guys be loading up? Right? There has to be a reason. And I've said this too. When the market's manipulated and suppressed, there's someone behind it. And why would they do that? Because they want to accumulate. They want to load up. They're not giving up. So, kind of tells you, okay, these guys are up to something, or they know better. They're just not scared. These guys are the ones that we should emulate. Not the guys on X. They're all saying it's over and I'm going to start shorting or I'm going to start dumping everything. You follow those guys, you're following their herd, and basically you're being led to disaster. You're being led down a road where you're just going to lose a whole bunch of money, right? So you got to think for yourself. You got to put it all together and make your own decisions. There is a CME gap, by the way. We always talk about CME gaps to the downside, but very rarely do we talk about it to the upside. You know, sometimes we go down so much just to hit or fill a CME gap. But there is a gap right around 109, 108, 109-ish. And that's not too far off. So considering we're at 104, that's just like $5,000 move, right? So hey, if CME gaps always fill, that's a gap to fill. That's coming up short term. But we know long term, okay, this cycle is not over. It's not over. Here's another example where you look at Bitcoin's movement versus the global liquidity supply, which is in red. Bitcoin has deviated very far from the global liquidity supply. If you go back, if you actually extrapolate this going all the way back, you'll see that there are times that Bitcoin deviates, but we always tend to follow it. And there's about like a 90-day gap between the two. And you can see we are very, very far off from it. Very far off from it. But if we do catch up, then, you know, obviously we're going to be moving up in a big way, right? According to this, to catch up to the global money supply, we basically have to go up to about $150,000 to $165,000. Can we do that by the end of December? I guess we'll have to see. According to this, this is like the first week of January. If it doesn't happen in December, well, that doesn't mean it's over. It just means that we move into a super cycle. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. And then lastly, Tom Lee, who's now the ultra ETH bull because of his company BitMine, decided to add another 389 million of ETH. So now they hold $12.4 billion of ETH. He's trying to catch up to Saylor in terms of ETH accumulation. I don't know where he keeps on getting his money, where he got $400 million out of nowhere and decided to buy ETH. But whatever he's doing is working, and he keeps on loading up. Now, unfortunately, his ETH holdings is underwater right now, but if you think about it, Saylor was like that too. Saylor got in around $10,000 Bitcoin, And he did well for a while until we went to crypto winter. He was underwater. He did not care. He kept buying and buying and buying, and now not underwater anymore. Tom Lee, I think, believes the same thing for ETH. I hope he's right, because ETH is different than Bitcoin. ETH has a lot of competition. Bitcoin does not. So I'm hoping he's right. All right. That's it, guys. Today is a mixed day. I don't actually quite know why today is red. After a pretty good recovery yesterday, this is like what everyone is waiting for, the end of the government shutdown. We're finally moving towards that. So I don't know why all of a sudden, a day after yesterday, turning red again. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Other than, hey, people are just fearful again. People want to believe that we're going to go lower. So it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like every single little thing is causing people to sell. Not even with crypto. It's with tech and AI and everything else. It's unfortunate. But FOMO will come back. It always does. And I don't believe this cycle's over. All right, let's do some Q&A. You know, I said this at the beginning of the stream, before I started. You see, like, everyone is super bearish, right? And I think a lot of people want to see me turn bearish, which I've never done. I joked around, yes. And sometimes I'm not in a good mood, yes. But I'm never truly bearish. But if I bet if I started making my thumbnails and my titles super bearish, you will get a lot more views, because, like, misery loves misery. I think, like, people that are miserable or fearful want to be around others that are, I guess. They want confirmation that they're right. They don't want confirmation that they're wrong, because they don't like to be in that position to begin with, right? But I bet if I did that, I'd get a lot more views. But I'll be going against what I believe, so I wouldn't do that. Maybe I would. Maybe I would, just as an experiment, to see what happens. Yeah, misery loves company. That's basically it. Johnny, if you were blocked, I wouldn't be able to see your comment right now. So you're not blocked. If you turn bearish, then we will sell your last beacon of hope. I don't know, man. I can only take so much too. It seems like no matter what I do, what videos I put out, there's all these people bashing me, saying that, you know, that I'm wrong and it's going to go down further and the cycle's over and this and that. That's why I don't look at comments anymore. Because I don't really believe that. But man, there's so many people that's bearish. Trump likes McDonald's, so McRib could be a good sign. McRib traditionally has been a great sign for Bitcoin. The last few times it came out in 2022 and was it 2017, 2020, 2021 has sparked a Bitcoin rally. See, you know, like that does not look appealing whatsoever. Not one bit. I've tried it before, and it's a weird texture meat. It is definitely not like rib meat. It's some kind of like scientifically like lab created kind of texture meat. But generally speaking, when the McRib comes back, Bitcoin does well. Don't know why. Maybe it's just the timing of it, because it comes out end of the year. But there is a correlation. There's a correlation, but maybe it's not the causation. What is that phrase? Correlation doesn't mean causation, but there is a correlation. Stop him. Look, that is not appealing at all. I'd rather eat a salad than eat a McRib sandwich. On a side note, I watched Predator Badlands yesterday. It was a good movie. Surprisingly, it showed the human side of predators, which you never really see because they seem like they have no emotions and they're like robots. But it actually showed a human side to predators. And also I like the fact that this took place in the future where humans have like, you know, robots, synths, right? So it shows that humans are advanced. Humans are not like really outdated. We're using our outdated tech. So I like that. So it almost seems like the humans are like at predator like technology, close to it. Maybe not, but you know, it's a lot closer. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. Is there anything good on McDonald's menu? I think the only thing I enjoy, the two things I enjoy, is their sausage egg and McMuffin. There's like a saltiness with their sausage patty that I do like. I think that's one, and two is their like crispy chicken sandwiches, which they came out like a few years ago. But outside those two, I don't find anything from McDonald's appealing. The Big Macs do not taste good. Quarter Pounders do not taste good. I don't know what else. Their snack wraps, so-so, not that good. I don't know what else from McDonald's is actually appealing. McGirdles are definitely not healthy. Though it's like soaked into syrup or whatever. I'd just rather have a sausage McMuffin. The Filet-O-Fish, I guess, is neutral. I could have a Filet-O-Fish. I would from a 1 to a 10 scale, a fish is probably like a 5. I would say sausage McMuffin is probably like a 7 or 8. And the new McCrispy chicken sandwiches are probably a 7. The fish would probably be a 5. It's not bad, but it's not great either. Breakfast pancakes, they're so bland. They're so bland. Here's a good debate topic since we're on the topic of food, and it's really silly, and I don't really care for it, but I think a lot of people get really amped up about this. And I'm gonna put a post, or a poll, I should say. I'm gonna start a poll.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.
Oops, I did not mean to do that while I was typing. Okay, here's my poll. I saw a lot of great debates about this, even though it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Are hot dogs considered sandwiches? SCR, I appreciate that. Level 58 is pretty high, man. I'm level 62 in Clash. I saw a great debate about this. Totally silly. But if a sandwich is just meat between or inside bread, okay, then why is a hot dog not considered a sandwich? It's meat in between bread. Just like a Philly steak sandwich, anything is considered a sandwich if you place it inside bread. So why is it not a sandwich? This is a common argument among prisoners. I'm just trying to pass the time right now because there's not a whole lot else to talk about. Because you call it hot dog, but what if hot dogs are sold in the sandwich section? If you find hot dogs in a sandwich section and it fits the definition of a sandwich, then why is it not a sandwich? Sandwich is 2 slices of bread. That's not true. That's not true. There are sandwiches that don't have to have 2 pieces of bread. It could just be a big bread cut in half or whatever it is. Like a Philly steak sandwich. Yeah, Subway's is not between 2 bread. Subway is just a roll cut in the middle. You don't just call something a Philly cheesesteak, it's a Philly cheesesteak sandwich. It's on the restaurant, if you look at a menu, it's within the sandwich section. There's not a section for just Philly cheesesteak. It's under sandwiches. If you mashed up the hot dog, it'd be a sandwich. Subway's not disgusting. What's wrong with Subway? Subway is just like a sandwich you can make at home, but they do it for you. There's nothing wrong with Subways. Jersey Mike's, Jimmy John's. I like Jimmy John's. I like their bread. It tastes good, even though I don't try to eat bread. Something else, just switch up something. This is related to Clash that I showed last night. I guess I'm not gonna convince a lot of you guys that hot dogs are sandwiches. Nor do I really care or believe in it, but I just thought it was a cool debate thing. This is something that's being worked on called Clash Bets. Okay, I'm not sticking with that name. It could be like Clash Market or something. So this is a prediction market platform that is currently being built for our project Clash. So like just like Polymarket, just like that Kalshi, there'll be a lot of predictions on here. Okay, for our tournaments, for our socials, for the project itself, for anything within inside the Clash ecosystem. And people will be able to make predictions and bet on these predictions. And this is going to be coming out hopefully within the next 2 weeks. So something that I'm very proud of. Again, showing that Clash is being worked on. And there's a lot of things coming. So I thought this was really cool. There will be this screenshot is pretty cool. There'll be an affiliate program too. So that people with large audiences or just regular people can refer their friends, family, their followers to join in and be rewarded for that as well. So it's very cool. Very cool. And this is going to make our tournaments even more fun, more interactive. And there's other things being built right now to make it really easy for anyone to participate in a tournament and taking some of the complexities out of it, like sign-up process and stuff like that. It's all being worked on right now. I guess I'm going to end that poll because it's just in the way and it's not changing. 74% of people think that hot dogs are not sandwiches. Brett, you need to tune in at night or on Discord and stop asking the same questions over and over again. When these fast food venues going to offer a chance at some Bitcoin instead of some crappy Monopoly game? Because most people don't want Bitcoin. Most people don't know or understand Bitcoin. So obviously they're going to offer McDonald's, Monopoly rather than Bitcoin. I guarantee you McDonald's offered Bitcoin rewards for buying food menu items, it would get 0% increase in sales. Monopoly is proven to increase their sales. Offering Bitcoin rewards is not. And that's okay. Because if everyone in the world wanted Bitcoin, it would be well above $5-10 million each. Right? So those of you guys that are in it, that know, you're way early compared to the rest of the world. You may not be early versus the Bitcoin OGs, but you're very early versus everyone else. So that's actually a good thing. Most people don't care about crypto. Even the younger kids. I asked my kids, they're almost going to be, one is almost going to be a teenager. Do people at school talk about crypto, memes, anything? Do people talk anything about like Bitcoin? The answer is no. Young people don't care either because most people don't invest. Most people do not care to invest or have the ability to invest, or they just don't want to learn about it. So that's the disappointing thing. You know, you figure you have the seismic shift from like gold from back in the day, right, to equities like stocks, and now you have the shift into crypto, but still it seems like the investors are like the same age. You don't really see it change. Or I should say not the Asian investor, but like the group of investors, right? Whatever that percentage is, I don't know. Maybe like 10% of Americans or 10% of the world. If it's the world, it's probably less. But let's say 10% of Americans invest. It's always 10%. You don't see it expand out to like 20 or 30 because we have crypto now. You would love to see that because it's so much easier to get involved, but that's just not the case. I mean, I'm sure people have heard of Bitcoin, but like as for investing in it, no. I'm sure some people have heard of Ethereum, some people have heard of Solana, but very rarely do you meet someone that actually have invested in it. Why would they care about as teenagers? Everyone wants to get rich. Teenagers care about getting rich because they want to buy their cars, right? They want to get girls or guys, whatever. But I fantasized about being rich when I was a teenager. I'm sure most do, right? There's so much wants. You want to get out of school and you want to buy all the things that you want, right? How do you do that? You don't do that by working at McDonald's. So you figure this day and age, we have Google, we have AI. It's so much easier to start something, even to be a content creator. These are things that didn't even exist when I was growing up. The avenues now is so much more plentiful than before. Or methods to learn, I should say. Avenue is not a right word. Methods to learn. People are still talking about a McRib. I guess I'll put it up on the screen. People really love the McRib. It's a good Bitcoin indicator. Let's see if it's right this time around. Yeah, iShowSpeed is playing Clash, and I posted a clip in Discord. He was crashing out because he was being coached by this guy named Bobby who has no idea what he's doing. He's not that good. So it goes to show you how popular Clash is, but it seems like there's a lot of they're making so much money and they want to make more money, so they keep pushing towards like getting people to spend more money, which is irritating to a lot of people. But they got like the hottest game right now. Chit chat, you could guess how old I am. Stimulus money, I don't know, man. $2,000. Are people gonna throw that into Clash or crypto? I hope so, but I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna happen, and I don't know what's gonna happen if tariffs are ruled illegal. I'm definitely not 52. Come on, nowhere close to that. Do I really look like I'm 52 or 49? That'll be bad. In my 30s, I still look like a teenager. My 40s changed because I started sleeping a lot less and not eating as much. I did not look like I'm 52. I put 2,000 on Clash. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Clash is the only project I know with a certainty that there are a lot of big things being worked on because I'm the one developing those things. Like the new prediction market platform, I think is going to be huge. So we're doing all the right moves right now, growing the holders, growing the community, still building and forming partnerships and exchange listings, as some people keep asking. all these things are being done while the market's not doing well. But when the market does do well, think about it's all going to add up in a big way. We just gave up a little bit of gains today. We're still higher than a few days ago. Today is just like no apparent reason. Look at stocks are down too. There's really no reason for things to be down today. Maybe this SoftBank sells Nvidia stake. That's going to be a big mistake because you should never bet against Nvidia. In fact, Jensen said if SoftBank never sold its shares a few years ago, it would be the largest investor in Nvidia and they would be much richer. So I think SoftBank is just salty at this point. But other than that, there's really nothing. The government shutdown, you know, the House is going to vote on it tomorrow. That's a very positive thing. There's really no reason for things to go down right now. It's just, again, fear of unknown or misery loves company, whatever you want to call it. People just want to join others. I think Bob says, I think this is a manufacturer down day and will change when the government reopens. It makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. This thing has been ongoing for over a month. A lot of sectors are really struggling because of it, and it's about to come to an end. So it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. And if you look at historically, when government shutdowns are over, like the days preceding it, are very good. Markets soar like 90 days after, a year after. They're actually really positive. So really, again, nothing really explaining why we're going down today. All right, guys, that is it. Overall, stay strong, my friends. The giant whales, the institutions, are still loading up, while retail is not, okay? You got to think why. Why are they doing that? There's a reason. They're buying while others are panicking. That's how they make money, and that's what we should emulate. All right? So stay strong, my friends. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord. Find more information about Clash and others and trading, for example, with our bootcamp. Discord link is in the description. All right? Have a good one.